video covers the IGCSE Biology Objective 1.3.2a on the 2025 CAIE syllabus, which is to state the main features used to place organisms into the different groups of vertebrates in the animal kingdom. So first we're going to talk about general classification. So there are different ways that scientists will group organisms according to specific levels, which is called taxa, and according to the rank that the organisms have, they will share a common ancestor if they share more taxa or taxonomic rank. So the order of taxa is, first we start with kingdom. That is the broadest grouping that will have millions of organisms in it. And then each succeeding level will break those organisms up into further and further separation in order to end up with just one organism at the species level. So the ranks are listed here, and we have a mnemonic phrase that will help us to remember the order of the taxonomic rank, which is listed there for you. King Philip came over for good spaghetti, so we take the first letter of each of the words. We have this sentence that will help us to hopefully remember the ranks of taxonomy for each organism. So for example, we have the common name of this organism called the pebble crab. We can see that the genus and species name, which are listed there, is the scientific name of this organism. And this organism would have a taxonomic rank that goes all the way back to kingdom, whereas it would share that rank with thousands of other organisms, bears, insects, all kinds of creatures. So depending on what kind of physical features the organism has would then put it into a different phylum from other organisms, and then within the phylum into different classes, within its class into different orders, within that order into different families, within that specific family into different genus, and then within that genus level, we would then break it down into individual species. Okay, so let's take a look at the vertebrate group. The vertebrate group is broken up into 4 classes. Vertebrates are animals with backbones, so anything that is not a living animal would not be put into this group, and there are many others which we'll see a bit later, but there are 5 classes. And so they are fish, amphibian, reptile, bird, and mammal. And here are just some very quick examples of each of those, which you probably are very familiar with and can recognize just by looking at an organism, which class it would go into. Okay, however, but let's look at the specific features that would put an organism into that particular class. And typically what we can really see easily is the body covering. So for fish, we have hard scales that help protect them because they live in the water. Amphibians have what we call naked skin or moist skin. Reptiles have soft scales that will protect them against the heat. Birds have feathers. Mammals' bodies typically are covered with hair or fur. There are other ways to look at how to differentiate between these organisms, such as how they reproduce, how they breathe. Are they able to control their body temperature, which is endothermic, or is their body temperature the same as the outside temperature, which is ectothermic? Typically, we know that as cold-blooded and warm-blooded, and other specific features that might be specific to that particular category. But just by looking at an organism, we can usually tell by body covering which vertebrate class that organism belongs to.